My daughter came up to me the other day and presented a mood board with clean girl aesthetic, bedroom kind of vibes on it. Now, if you know me, I'm far from clean girl aesthetic, so this is going to be quite a challenge. So, bit of a backstory. We recently had an extension in order to give the kids their own bedrooms, and we kind of made do with what we had. They both wanted double beds, and I'm one of these people that does not buy everything new. In fact, I don't buy hardly anything new. I am a bit of a charity shop person, second hand, do it up, make do. However, what's happened is her bedroom is now a little bit on the mishmash side. So she presented this mood board and said she wanted white IKEA type furniture. That's where I draw the line. Absolutely not. She's got some really nice furniture in there, and most of it's pine, but it is just a little bit mishmash. So we came to a compromise, and that is to give the kind of more, I don't even know what this is, by the way, but I googled it because I've seen some of my American friends creating this kind of look. So I googled Pottery Barn furniture, and it's very light and bright and breezy and neutral and classy. That ain't what I do. I'm all about colour, so this might go wrong, but I have got a little side table that I'm going to try the look out on here because she has some big pieces of furniture. I don't want to commit to doing those and mess it up. So I'm going to try it out on this little piece behind. So this is a little pine table. It's pine. That's why I've chose it. However, not that long ago, it was bright teal because I painted this years and years ago in another brand of paint and hated it and stuck it in storage and left it there. So I had to strip the paint off. This can still see remnants a little bit of the green teal kind of showing through because I have stripped it and sanded it and sanded it, and I'm done. I'm done with it. So I'm going to start with this. It's not perfect, but it is pine. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to give this a little practice and recreate a more kind of neutral, bright and breezy look. I still want a wood effect look. She doesn't want to paint it completely. So I'm looking for that kind of Pottery Barn. I'm speaking as though I know what it is. We don't have Pottery Barn in the UK. I don't know what it is, okay? I've just seen other people do it, and that kind of fit her aesthetic. So that's what we're doing. So, as you can see, there are remnants of blue paint still on this table, but I'm not stripping and sanding it anymore because I've already spent hours on it doing that. So I'm going to work with what I've got, and for that reason I'm going to start with white as my base coat. I very rarely use white. This is a brand new pot. It's called Fluff. It's from Dixie Belle's chalk mineral paint range, and I'm specifically choosing chalk for this because I think it's going to work better than silk. We'll find out, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to paint one coat, I think, maybe two, of white paint over the entire thing. Only because it has that blue, little patches of blue on, which are kind of scattered all over the place, and some of it is deep in the grain of the wood. If this didn't have bits of blue on, I'd probably do a white wash. So that would just eliminate the orange in the wood and give it more of a neutral tone. But I'm going to do complete coverage of white just to get rid of the blue. So if you haven't gathered, this is well outside my comfort zone. There's probably lots of different ways you can achieve this particular look. As with most furniture painting effects, there's always more than one way to do something. This is just the way that I'm going to try it for this little piece and see how it goes. As you can see, the reason I chose Fluff is because of its coverage. You don't get many whites that will cover pine in one coat, but this does. So I'm just putting it on, using a little bit of water to get a fairly smooth finish, but not being too precious about it. So the white paint is dry. The next thing I'm going to do is use Best Dang Wax in brown. and I'm going to play around with chip brushes. So this is a premium chip brush. You can see I've already used it for brown wax. Excuse the washing machine in the background, by the way. And this is a standard chip brush, so the bristles are much more sparse and a little bit more wispy. It's been very well used, but that's what I want. I want to kind of emulate wood grain. I know I've just covered wood grain up, but I've explained the reasons why for that. So, going in with Best Damn Wax in brown. This is a water-based wax. Crazy, I know. It doesn't smell, it's super easy to clean up. I use scrubby soap on my brushes when I clean them, but it cleans up with soap and water. That's my point. You don't need chemical to clean this product up. So it's a pretty unique wax, and you know me, I do like to play around with my coloured waxes. So I'm just going to play around with this, and I'm going to try and work in the direction of the wood grain to keep that kind of wood grainy kind of look. So as I mentioned, this wax is water-based, meaning it's a pretty special formula because most furniture waxes are oil-based, which means you usually have to use them last, and then water-based products won't sit over the top of them. However, that rule doesn't apply to this product. You can absolutely add a water-based product over the top of this, whether it's paint or another top coat or whatever. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of finishes and playing around with these kind of faux finishes that I like to do. So I'm just using the cheapest chip brush. These are super inexpensive brushes, and as always I will link every single product in the description below. They are affiliate links, which means if you click on them, make a purchase, I earn a small commission from them. And as you can see, I'm just using the wispy bristles of this chip brush to kind of give the impression I'm going in the direction of wood grain. I don't want this to look like wood grain. It's not going to end up like this, don't worry. So I'm not being, again, too precious about it. This is just a very quick and easy kind of experiment just to see if this kind of style is what my daughter is after. So just keeping it all in the direction of the wood grain, and then I let that wax dry overnight. I haven't rubbed it back, and I'm just going to let it dry down. So the next day I went back in with the same white paint that I used as my base coat, and I'm going to work my paint into the bristles of my brush, meanwhile taking the excess off. You want product on the bristles, but I don't want it soaking wet because that's just going to completely cover the brown wax, and that's not what I want. So this is sort of known as dry brushing. I've probably got a little bit too much paint on my bristles for dry brushing, but I do want to cover majority of that brown wax up, just leaving little hints. Again, I'm working it in the same direction that the wood grain is going, keeping that kind of wood grainy feel. And then for the top, I'm just going to switch out the chip brush for the Big Daddy brush. You've got to love the name of this brush. So this is the Big Daddy because it is a Big Daddy, and I've just sped it up a little bit here because I'm working my layers up super slowly. The fact that I'm brushing this on and the paint is going on really thinly means that it's drying super quick, so I can build this up. I don't need to leave it to dry in between or anything like that. And I'm just getting rid of some of those really heavier kind of lines that I did with the brown wax. Some of the areas were a little bit too heavy, and then it was looking a little bit stripy. So I did go the opposite direction with my paintbrush at times, just to kind of get rid of those stronger lines that you can still see coming through. So that was my idea for this. It did work out quite well. I will show you close-ups at the end, obviously. And this top was a lot whiter than the rest of the kind of legs. And I did actually like that. It's very subtle, and hopefully the close-ups at the end will show it, because it just kind of looks like white at the moment, but it is in real life it's a lot more kind of tonal, if you like. And then, so because I like the white top, I went back into the rest of the piece and just kind of lightened that up with a little bit more dry brushing in white. I will be sealing this with one of Dixie Belle's clear coats, but I just wanted to get the video out there to show you this effect. So I've done some close-up photographs for you to see. It is super subtle. I don't even know if we can say if this is Pottery Barn. Let's say it's Pottery Barn-inspired. It's definitely not a dupe. But I am pretty pleased with how it turned out, considering I am not really one for playing with neutrals. I am pretty pleased with the outcome. So it might not be a Pottery Barn dupe, but it is neutral, bright and breezy without having just painted it white. I'm never going to be a massive fan of neutrals. They absolutely have their place. Other people do them better than me, and that's absolutely fine. But I am glad I had a little experiment on this side table. Pretty pleased with how it came out. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will catch you next time. Bye!